Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did.
Oh, welcome to the podcast. Oh, no, girl, yes. Weez is back. How you doing?
Guess who's back? Back again. Okay.
I don't know that song, but I went for it.
Ain't that Eminem?
Oh, yeah. I didn't understand. Okay, yeah. I didn't understand your version of it. Hey, we appreciate y'all listening. She hyped up. Let's get right into it. Thank you for listening, subscribing, commenting, sharing, liking, telling a friend, being a friend. Thank you for Patreon. Don't forget you can also join Patreon behind the scenes dish and dash of what you don't get here. But we give y'all a lot here, but we actually we give you more on Patreon. So just a heads up. I ain't trying to give you no FOMO, but you should have FOMO by now. All right. I have a notebook. And in this notebook is a lot of my hopes and dreams and wishes. And also there's a list of things that we might talk about on the podcast. And we made this list collectively a few months ago, just things we have been going through during the hiatus, different situations that came up, different things we might want to talk about. But a lot of times, by the time we get to the week of the podcast, we're talking about something that happened just now. But this is one we wrote down, and we've been pushing it back to the side. Every time we go through a list of topics, we always say, let's not do that one. I don't know if we can do that. Let's not do that one. And we're going to do it today. The reason why we've been pushing it back because you're not good with this topic. Let's just be honest.
You're not good with it either.
That don't matter. I ain't good with most of the topics we talk about. That's why we're in season 3. That's why we're in season 3.
Right.
Could we effort an episode with you being as bad as you are?
I kind of turned it down, to be honest, today. When she first mentioned it, I was like, yeah, I don't really want to talk about that.
We're going to do it again today because of her, but we're going to go for it, y'all. So we really need your comments and supports on this one. Because we're going to be somewhat limited. Today's topic, dealing with men's insecurities. If you're listening, we're here. You're watching. Exactly. Dealing with men's insecurities. So where do we begin? You said right before we press record, you said, I believe men's insecurities have a lot to do with why we're single. Let's start there. Why would you say such a thing?
Well, it kind of piggybacked on what you said prior to us pressing record. Okay. And we've talked about men having a need to feel needed, right? Women want to feel wanted, and men want to feel needed. And we don't do a good job, and we never have. I don't know if we ever will. We did try.
Did we try? I think we talked about trying.
Talked about trying. That's trying in my book. Like if I actually say I'm going to do something, even if I don't follow through with it, that's a big step.
It counts, right?
Considering something that I would never ever consider doing, 5 years ago or whatever. So yeah, definitely talked about trying to create a space for men to feel needed, and we failed because I feel like I always have to be my authentic self in everything.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And so that's a hard part for me in relationships in general, just being myself, because myself can be a lot. I do understand that. But and there are people who probably don't like me to this day, men or women, because of who I am, but I don't care.
You don't care.
But I do think our success, who we are as women, our drive intimidates men.
And I hate that word.
And I know you hate that. Now we've had that conversation before, even before we had this podcast.
Yeah.
So we had that conversation about you hating that word I think it's true. I hate it, but I think it's true. And I used to say a lot of times, like, okay, if I intimidate a man, he ain't the man for me.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, well, ain't nobody the man for me. Am I never gonna get a man because I intimidate all of them? Is that what's gonna happen?
Sounds that way.
But I am surrounded by women who are strong. My mom's strong. My sister-in-law's a strong woman, and they don't have punk. My brother and my dad aren't punks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it's somebody out there for me.
No, there's definitely somebody out there for us just the way we are, 100%. And hopefully they will find their way somewhere around us real soon, real fast.
Okay, and there's another thing I thought of. Let me see how I can put this into words. The whole insecure factor. when it comes to men. And I guess kind of how you said it before, how men, when they want to feel needed and we don't make them feel needed, or they see us as a challenge, that's what it is. They may see us as a bigger challenge than somebody who may not be the same person, obviously. I think we both are looked at as challenges for men when they meet us, right? So the bull crap that another woman may put up with is the bull crap that we probably wouldn't.
More than likely, we not.
More than likely, yeah. I mean, because our line of bull crap is like,
zero. It's very low. Now that's one of my private prayers. I'm praying to be able to be more tolerant of bull crap. I mean, I'm genuinely having to pray about that. Yeah. Because I realize that I'm never going to be in any relationship with anybody with how low my line for bullcrap is. It's at zero. It's at minus 100. So that's unrealistic.
I absolutely agree. But I think there are certain things, though, we still require in men.
Oh, yeah.
And it's no different than what we require in ourselves. So and that's the thing, you know what I mean? Because I expect myself to I expect to be held to a certain standard myself. Mm-hmm. So I would hold people around me to a certain standard, especially somebody I'm looking to spend the rest of my life with. Like we gotta. Well,
not even the rest of your life. We ain't even got that far yet.
I know. Yeah, just the dating. But in my thinking, I'm thinking like, could I spend the rest of my life with this dude?
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's the first part is when we meet men and when we engage in any level with men, as far as giving them my phone number, a first date, a second date, at that point, we see them as potential. We're not saying, oh, I met him today and I'm going to marry him today.
Right.
But I believe everybody, men and women, we know pretty early on if this is somebody we want to see again or that we could see potential or see a future with. Unfortunately, a lot of times women, we end up holding on to that potential we saw on first date. And that's what we keep dating. Throughout the relationship is the potential we saw on the first date, but they ain't lived up to none of it, but we still hold on to what we thought it could be. And so that's why we're still there. So the problem I feel like we have is, again, I hate that whole, oh, well, you intimidating. Yeah, that ain't the man for me. And I hate this whole idea that I think we were on Clubhouse one day and we hated the conversations to hear other women say, oh, because I'm successful, I got my own house, my own car, my own money, and I don't need a man and he can't. And we didn't like the way that sounded. So yes, that's true, but we're not trying to say that either. Mm-hmm. But what we are trying to say is we do feel like we do get penalized for not outwardly having a need to be rescued. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying outwardly because emotionally, we need to be rescued. We need somebody to come and say, I am going to take care of your heart and your spirit and nurture your soul and help you be the woman you were born to be as you help me be the man I'm born to be. And because we don't wear it on the outside, like, help me, please. I mean, y'all, we in season 3. Help me, please. Mm-hmm. And so because we don't have that outward sign of needing help with our kids or needing help with the phone bill or needing help in some way that they can come in and say, oh, but if I do that, one, she ain't gonna be tripping when I come home late or I don't text her because she need that phone bill paid. So I'm gonna have a little bit more latitude with her than I will with a woman that don't need me to pay her that bill.
So would you say it's laziness? Because that sounds like laziness to me.
On their part?
Yeah, as far as dealing with a woman who may be more challenging, like it's not as simple as just paying my bills. That's not impressive to me.
Right. But we're talking about minimal effort, right? Minimal effort. And that was the last episode we did about where is the woo. Men are getting rewarded for minimal effort. So let me tell you an example that I told someone this weekend that is so true. All right. I feel like most of the men I've dated previously and men that I don't even know that would be interested in dating me are comfortable in the cheap seats, because in the cheap seats, they can come and go as they please. I don't even know if they there or not. They can be on their phone in the back. Mm-hmm. It's not a lot of responsibility for them in the cheap seats, but they still get to see some of the show. Mm-hmm. And then when someone comes in and you say, oh, VIP, you front row, guess what? A different responsibility comes with you being on the front row. You have to be a better audience member. You have to not be a distraction. You have to get there on time. A lot of times they won't let you back in until it's intermission or something if you had to leave. You can't just be there on your phone. You can actually change the outcome of the performance because you ain't VIP if you don't know how to act. And so some people get in VIP and guess what they say? Ooh, I can see that makeup close. Ooh, they spitting on you from here. You know, and it's a lot. And guess what? they leave VIP and they say, but you know what? I can still see the show from the cheap seats where it's just less responsibility on me. You gotta let them go. You gotta let them sit back there. You gotta let them go. So you like that analogy? You like that?
No, it was good. It's a good analogy, and I think it's a life. It is a life analogy.
Yeah,
I'm taking a lot from it, even outside of relationships. I just hear like how we are so comfortable in being basic sometimes.
Now, VIP got all the perks that come with VIP, right? Beyond the meet and greet, beyond relationship, beyond access, beyond just seeing the show, it's benefits to this. But there is a responsibility on you to be there. Yeah. You still gonna have to handle yourself a certain kind of way. Cheap seats, we don't know you there.
Anybody can be there.
We can't hear you. You talking there, but we don't know that's happening because you're in the cheap seats. You don't have the best seat in the house. But some people are just satisfied with being back there. And that's good enough for them because, like you said, the laziness, the effort that's required to be participatory in someone's greatness is more than most men that we have met so far
most men
are willing to offer. And so I think they see us from a distance. Okay, she cute. Okay, she gets, okay, I know her. Okay, she handling her business. And then you say, oh, really? And you give them that VIP pass and they sit in the front row for a couple of shows. And then they're like, well, I gotta be here for all the shows. Yeah, you do. All the shows.
I almost want to say that it's easier. I think it would be easier to be with me versus somebody you gotta pay bills for and stuff like that.
Let me hear more about that. Let me hear more about that theory you have. That you would be easier.
I feel like, there's a peace of mind that comes with that. You're not, we're on this track together to be successful and to live a certain lifestyle or whatever. We're both in, putting in on that, right? So then that frees your mind to do other things. And so you have to be a little creative, probably, to keep things interesting, but it's not as simple as, I say it easy, but I think it's a better lifestyle, put it like that.
Right. I think of myself
in a more pleasurable lifestyle.
I think it would be a great adventure to date me. It's going to be a great adventure. You don't know what we might be doing on any given day. Let's have fun. Let's see what happens. Guess what? And you can attest to this. The last few guys I dated, I would have married any of them if they would have married me. Because at this point, it's not like I feel like I'm settling, and it's not like I just want to get married, but I felt enough about them that I felt like we could build a good life together. I got enough of what I got going on. You got enough of what you got going on. Let's put it together, see what we can build new together. Yeah. I feel confident in the last three that they work with that.
Right. Maybe I should have said more fun, more adventurous because it gets boring the other way around, I think.
Yeah. And I want him to have great adventures that I can come along on. And I want us to make up stuff together, And so, in theory, on paper, we sound great. But guess what? Them cheap seats, you could just find one of them tickets outside. You ain't got to put in no reservation. You ain't got to pay the cost for the ticket. You know what I'm saying? Cheap seats is always going to be easier than us. Regardless of how much fun we think we would be and how much more sense that we don't have to get a baby.
Or how much fun we actually have when we're with these people,
Right. We don't be having no bad time with these folks.
I don't think we do.
Listen, we have been on dates and in situations with men and we're like, I know, right? And they be talking about, man, this is so cool. Man, you showing me this. Man, I learned so much when I'm with you.
As soon as that thing is, it's like,
hello? Is this thing on? Hey, remember that time we had a good time that time? Do you remember me?
Then they start coming up with all these excuses about why they can't. And it's like,
girl, I had a man tell me, two different men. One was telling me that his life is like training to be a Navy SEAL. He also told me it's like being in medical school. Now he's a writer.
I was about to say, what was his occupation?
He's a writer, but he's so busy. It's like someone training to be a Navy SEAL. And I said, that's probably one of the worst examples I've heard in my life. Then I had another dude say he was working on his communication and it's not going to happen overnight, but he's working on it. He said, when we said we was going to pull the troops out of Iraq, they didn't walk out the next day.
I don't know what it is about the men you date.
Is that mansplaining? Is that them mansplaining?
Because I don't even get that. I don't get that a lot. You get it a lot though. And I don't know if they're trying to match your intellect and yeah, try to be attractive in some kind of way.
What would be the point of that? Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe that's what it is. And maybe people just don't think I would get that deep anyway.
Listen, to the writer who always was so busy and couldn't make no time for nothing, right? To that writer, when he told me that his schedule is like, he said, you would understand if I was a medical school student. You would understand if I was in medical school. I was like, you're a writer. That's a really good example. Then he brought up the Navy SEALs. I said, let me tell you why both of those are really bad examples that you're offering me. Because since you mentioned maybe if they trying to do that to make me have some kind of intellect, they using it on the stupid broads too, but it worked. This is what I said to him. The reason why those are two horrible examples, I can Google what you got to do to become a Navy SEAL. I can Google what you got to do to become a doctor. There is step-by-step recipes. Now, everybody ain't able to do it. Everybody don't want to do it, and everybody can't do it.
And however, when you Google it, you can see the timeline. You can see
all of it. I can get straight information. I said, there is no recipe for you becoming what you're trying to be. So why don't you tell me what you are actually going through so I can have a true understanding and respect of how to support you uniquely? You ain't in medical school. You ain't trained to be no Navy SEAL. So no, that don't help me understand you. Bruh.
That was just a write-off just to say that. And so she'll get it.
Yeah, but I'm thinking I don't think it was an intellect thing. I think he'd been using that on a dumb abroad. And she was like, well, he said it's
and you challenged him on it and he didn't have
challenged him on a lot. Now I know he hated me because I would challenge him because he would tell me this is 100% the reason why I'm single. And I said, well, that's interesting to me because when you got to 50%, you didn't change it. And then you got to 70%, you didn't alter none of your behavior. And you got to 85% and you still kept doing the same thing. You actually made it to 100% of why you single is because of this. And you don't see no responsibility in it. That's amazing. You have a perfect score of failure for the same reason. That don't sound right. And I said to him, I'm going to try with you. And when I fail, it will be in a whole new way that I've never failed before. I said, all I can ask you is to try to fail in a new way. You done told me to fail the same way. Right. Try a new way. Let's fail for another reason. And you know what? Couldn't do it. Now, I did fail with him, but I failed in a new way. I tried harder than I had tried, and then I failed. And I'm good with it. I walk away with it.
You gave it your all, whatever you had to give.
Whatever
you didn't give the same crap you probably given before. You gave something.
I sure did. And I could walk away from that, pop my collar and be like, keep it moving. I learned a lot from that. It served its purpose. You date somebody else and they telling you about all the troops in Iraq. But listen, the root of that though, and that's
I don't know if I'm jealous that you get these explanations or.
So what do you get instead of those explanations?
I just get I'm busy. I just get I'm busy, which never works. I mean, I always have a counter for that, but
I don't get busy. I get to hear about kids. I get to hear about the job. I get to hear about their health. I get to hear about everything. And I really be thinking, because when a dude tell me he busy, I say we all been busy since about the age of 12. I'm busy.
That's always my answer. I'm busy too. We all busy.
We all busy.
We do. I'm
the busiest person I ever met in my life. What are you talking to me about? We busy. We do what we want to do though. I know that.
Always. I don't care how busy I am. I do what I want to do.
Every time. You be like, girl, I need to go over here and do this, but I'm about to go do this. I'll call you when I get back. But men see dating and interactions with women
as a
chore, a responsibility. Then I got to spend time with her, and we see it as a bonus. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, but then I get to see him, so it's on. Let me get through this, so I get to the part I want to do. And it's just crazy because the insecurity that men feel from, well, is she gonna stay? Well, if I mess up, is she gonna leave? Do I not need to get too invested? I feel like I'm going through a situation like that based on the guy I've been dating, insecurity, in that because he know he gonna keep messing up. Right? Now, not just because he know he gonna keep messing up. Men think that we want them to be perfect. We don't even want perfection. We ain't perfection. Perfection, that would just be us chilling with Jesus, if that's what we wanted. We just want you to do what you say you're gonna do. That's it. Is that really? So if you say, hey, we'll be there at 7, and you see that you're not gonna be there at 7, we just want to say, hey, it ain't gonna be 7. It's probably gonna be closer to 8:30. Okay, thank you. What we gonna say? What? It's not gonna be 7.
Yeah. It's not hard to make plans with someone and then, because we've both gone through this in the past year, it's not hard to make plans with someone and then something come up and you cancel.
Happens all the time. How many times have we made plans and said, girl, that ain't gonna work at that time. Let's make it this time. Or can we do it another day or this? Okay, cool.
It's not hard.
It ain't that deep.
But when you do that,
somebody waiting on you because the last thing you said was see you in a bit. And have a person wait 3, 4, 5 days. Mm-hmm. Now, but our reaction to, as you said, we had similar situations. Our reactions to that, the men probably felt was harsh. We ain't cuss nobody out. Mm-hmm. We didn't bust out nobody's windows.
Right.
We didn't do none of that. Mm-hmm. We just said, so there was no way for you to communicate that to me? That's what we said, both of us. So there was no way for you to communicate that there needed to be a change in plans? And for a man, they hear, oh God, now I gotta hear her mouth. And they will rather go away and disappear and never talk to you again than to just, both of us also did not have nobody with sense enough to say, I messed that moment up. It's the next week. Let me try to fix it. Let me do something to try to make it better. Let me send them
running away, hiding, tucking your little sorry behind tail. Like, who does that? And we see that's how you approach life, and you want me to be with you? When you running away from a little bit of conflict.
And it ain't even conflict. You messed up.
You messed up. Like, I'm not wrong here.
What's the conflict? So because we don't need them as they feel, in the moment that they do that, they just go on somewhere else. Now, somebody who might need them might be a little bit more, reaching out to them after they mess up? I don't know. I don't know how it works on the other side. But it ain't working here. I don't know what they do on the other side. Comment, share, let us know. When a dude stands us up and then they disappear, and then we say, dang, that's kind of crazy. You wouldn't let me know that plans change. Like, again, we have not cussed no man out yet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We ain't hung up on no man. We ain't blocked no man. A few days later, we might say, so dang, that's really how you feel about me? And they go away. I guess if they was paying one of our bills, we wouldn't say nothing.
Maybe so, perhaps.
They'd be like, but girl, I ain't gonna say nothing because my light bill did.
I'm gonna keep my cell phone on another month.
So let me not say nothing. Is that how it works?
I don't know, child. I don't know.
So when it comes to men's insecurities, men are more afraid of rejection than women are. Men are much more emotional than women. Women get the reputation for being emotional, but women have emotional intelligence in that we're able to, we want to talk about it. We might cry about it. We might do some things, but we don't communicate our emotions. A dude would have 1 billion emotions, much more than we have. And the reason why it affects them so negatively, because they don't have no outlet to communicate. Hey, I'm scared. Hey, that hurt my feelings. Hey, that bothered me. They just gonna go sleep with your girl when you hurt their feelings. They just gonna go kill the baby when they hurt their feelings. And it's like the emotional intelligence, that's the fault of people who don't let little boys cry and try to toughen up little boys when they're hurt. And so they grow up to be men that don't know how to communicate hurt without hurting somebody. So just like on the playground, somebody hit you, you hit them. Somebody throw the rock at you, you throw the rock at them. And it's like, sometimes, I wasn't even throwing that rock at you. I'm sorry, it slipped. Oh, okay, I didn't know. We communicate about it.
What part of the emotional intelligence or lack thereof is the beginning of that, like the decision to not call? Like, I haven't done anything to you. We made plans.
I think they're embarrassed, and then they don't.
No. I'm saying. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think they're embarrassed that they messed up, and I think it's easier for them to go be adored.
Ignore it
because now at this point they messed up, and so instead of the one I was dating would apologize immediately. That almost bothered me. He never really offered defenses to it. It would just be, babe, I apologize. Babe, I'm sorry. Okay, and so then you should still do something to try to make it up. Actually, mine was so bad. My stood up was a makeup. It was supposed to be making up for something else and stood me up for the makeup for something else.
And came up with it. That's the thing. Like, why you coming up with plans with me? I'm not out here making plans with you intentionally.
It was his idea.
Anyway.
So he has communicated with me since that stand-up that he thinks I'm the one for him. I am everything he has ever wanted. everything he has ever needed, and it scares him. He actually said that, and I was just like, wow, this man, I actually believe him. We also had the conversation that he's not used to things working out. He's more comfortable when things are uncomfortable. A lot of us have that without communicating it. That's part of the book we were reading about upper limits, and everybody does it on some level. Mm-hmm. But of course, when you hear somebody say that, you think, or let's just have everything be okay. We ain't got to make no problems. So what I have seen this person do based on his insecurities, because he also has survivor's guilt from being a teenager who did some stuff and his friends are dead and he's successful. I mean, he has some stuff where he might not feel like he deserves love or deserves happiness. Mm-hmm. He's told me he's never dated a woman of my kind. All this stuff. I have all this information. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Because I'm the one be sitting somewhere stood up with my feelings hurt. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's a correlation between him sharing emotions and then him disappearing. Or there's a correlation between him sharing emotions of care and thoughtfulness for me. And it's usually directly followed by a thoughtless act. And I don't know if he's trying to balance it or put me in a position or make himself feel more powerful. I don't know what it is, child, but it is for the birds. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to deal with, how do I manage this man's insecurities? Now, I just thought about someone that said that. I know we feel like we shouldn't have to. And mm-hmm. I feel like we don't want to. Mm-hmm. But just when I said that, I'm thinking about one time he managed one of my insecurities very well. So I just heard myself say that. We'll have to take that under advisement and come back to it.
Yeah, we'll get back to you.
We'll get back to that. I don't feel like it's nothing for me to do. Mm-mm. But I can say I had an insecurity and he did manage it well.
I feel like what you're doing now is enough.
And which is what? Nothing?
Yeah. You have not cursed him out. You've not said anything out off the wall.
And
that's your managing.
Right. And I said, if he called, I would answer the phone and listen. I don't really have nothing to say. Mm-hmm. But he ain't called. So I'm like, well, I don't have nothing else I can do about that.
Right.
Okay, so thank you. I was about to give him some points, and when I had the memory, and you brought me back, I appreciate it. That's why we have each other.
And nobody else. That's why we have each other and nobody else.
And nobody else. Yeah. We all have insecurities. We really do. We all have things that sometimes we don't know it's an insecurity till it flares up or until something triggers it. So it's not like we sitting here like, oh, whatever, he don't need to be insecure. It's not that. But we're saying if you're insecure about something, how can we manage it if you don't even talk to us? And it's not even saying, hey, I'm insecure about this. We know they're not going to use those kind of words, but we can see the behaviors that give the impression that something's going on. But your behavior is turning more into I don't care about you, mush you in the face. Right. So we take it as hurt. Our feelings are hurt. Mm-hmm. It's not just, oh, he's insecure. Let me figure this out. It's like, dang, this dude is paying me dust. My feelings are hurt. Let me go somewhere else and sit down. And then nothing ever gets done. Mm-hmm. You know, we still apart. And so I've talked to men who, after the fact in their relationships, not saying talk to, not dated, but men, friends of mine, that I have put things in perspective for them after the fact, after they've been out of a relationship, and they literally have never thought about their part or what they did or how they said it, and they're like, oh, I never thought about it like that. And I'm hearing it for the first time, like, oh, well, you said this, or she felt that, or you put, and they're like, what? I never, and I'm like, when was this, 10 years ago, and you ain't got to that yet? Mm-hmm. And I think even in times when we may have been deficient in an interaction, I do think we notice it. It might be after the fact, but it'd be that week. We might be like, you know what? I shouldn't have sent that 10-page text. Okay, I get it. It might be, okay, I might have went a little hard in the paint on that. I get it. But it's like they don't never like reflect or acknowledge the common denominator in this moment of.
But do you find men, at least I know some of the men that I've dated and some that I just know that I'm friends with, they really have a problem with women thinking they're bad people.
Mm-hmm. They don't want to be the bad guy. That's why they're going to check in every so often. They don't want you to think they're the bad guy.
They want to make sure that you're still communicating and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be the bad guy, but why act like the bad guy? Why be the bad guy?
But that's also an insecurity, right? Because you care about what I might say about you. You care about what I think about you. Mm-hmm. But you ain't doing nothing to be the good guy.
Change it.
You just don't want me to think you the bad guy.
Right. It's so aggravating.
So they might just send you a scripture every day.
Anyway, what y'all talking about? What y'all think?
What y'all want to talk about? We knew we was gonna have a hard time trying to get a full episode trying to talk about men's insecurities because we don't care. We got insecurities. We got insecurities too.
I know.
And y'all need to man up. Tell us what you think and what you feeling. Now, don't say it to her real soft because she don't like soft. I like soft. I think that's sweet. I think vulnerability is very brave when you get a little soft with me. She don't like that soft stuff. So still know your audience. Know your audience. It ain't for everybody. I like a man who get a little sensitive around. I'm like, oh, look at him getting a little sensitive around me. But
I don't mind if I know you. I just gotta know you. Like, don't be putting me in no uncomfortable position.
Again, fellas, I'm putting the warning on that one over there. Come over here. I'm gonna say, oh, for real, baby, for real. She gonna be like, I don't like it.
I like, he needs somebody mama.
He needs somebody, and it ain't me.
Anyway.
I be like an old sensitive, old stinking man. You know what? I don't know what our plan is, Chad. But we on another episode, and we are still saying, oh no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did.
Send help.